My name is Samuel Ochiri. I'm a senior lecturer at the University of Bristol, which is in the southwestern part of the United Kingdom, and I'm from Ghana. So my research or my area of specialization mainly relates to issues of movement and mobility, or labor mobility more specifically, and also migration. And these are issues which are often connected with the subjects of trafficking more generally. So I mainly seek to provide a more holistic understanding of these phenomena through the research I do. I also carry out advocacy and also partner with NGOs, international organizations, national governments to help promote a more informed understanding and also advocate for the rights and interests of those who are deemed to have been victimized or indeed deemed to have been affected by these issues. I think a human rights based approach to trafficking is vital, mainly because it places the human being or the victim at the center of efforts to address the subject of trafficking. Often it's the case that because trafficking is mainly regarded as a crime against the state, the interests or the well-being of the person who is regarded as a victim can be relegated to the background, or indeed sometimes victims are themselves penalized as criminals. And so putting human rights at the forefront of all measures to address trafficking, I think it's really important for the protection of the rights of victims, and also for addressing all the range of wrongs which may have occurred leading up to the issue of trafficking. Comments and views shared from different perspectives, and to me it has been illuminating hearing all the very wonderful experiences people have in the different regions and organizations they work with, especially the representation of sex workers at this meeting. I think although things are changing, very often these meetings are carried out where people seek to speak for sex workers rather than sex workers speaking for themselves. And I appreciate that the issue of trafficking is a separate thing altogether to sex work, but having a group of people whose job is often conflated with trafficking be here and tell us quite clearly and very forcibly that we need to see the differences between what they do and the issue of trafficking, to me has been very helpful indeed. I think inter-movement dialogue or inter-organizational dialogue is key because different organizations have different remits and expertise and resources, and it's only by bringing together the layer of opinions and resources and views that we may be able to have a more holistic response to the issue of trafficking, but also before that a more informed understanding of it, to be able to address resources and support where they ought to be, but also to be able to promote the rights of people involved thinking in a more informed manner. We know that trafficking is closely associated with mobility, and people are increasingly driven into the arms of their purported traffickers because of the imposition of obstacles on their efforts to travel freely. So I think more than anything, providing people with safe and accessible means of migrating, I would go as far as to say that we should have an open borders system. Is the way forward. If policymakers are determined to address this issue, and I think we have to be more radical in our approach towards it, because in a lot of cases, measures which are presented as anti-trafficking are nothing other than anti-migrant or anti-migration measures, and therefore I would say, in my personal view, what is needed above everything is a situation whereby no one is compelled to have to pay sometimes exorbitant sums before or after the journey, but nobody is in a position where, or is put in a position where they have to rely on third parties to carry or ferry them across borders, which may lead up to the phenomena or the circumstances which we present as trafficking.